And this little thing up here will go, you are recording. You can pause it whenever I give problems, I let them work, I pause it, it pauses, and you got to remember to turn it back on and all that stuff. So right now we're recording. And what it's recording is what that board has on it. And it'll put over to the left-hand side, it'll put a picture of me in the classroom. And as long as I stay up front, it's not going to take a picture of the class. Now you got to remember that, because somebody might complain, oh, I don't want to be on YouTube. Okay, then stay up front. Now, there may be something you can do to make it, I don't know, but if you stay up front and you stay on the board, or you can take your picture off of the recording by hitting the little minus symbol above your picture, you know, that's on that side. You can knock it out. Okay, so that takes care of that. So, and then that's when I get up and I do my thing. And then I get up and I go over here and I say, okay, let's get started on this spreadsheet, blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, don't forget that the standard deviation is basically the variance, and our variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar quantity squared over n minus 1. So now I'm using the transparency to do over whatever, my picture of the pyramids of Giza, or my PowerPoint, or whatever the case may be. All right. Now I decide, well, okay, we finished with this. Let's draw. We did our calculations. Don't forget the normal curve. Don't forget that that's what your standard deviation does. And you bring your normal curve in, and you do this, and you put your mean here. You subtract your standard deviations. You add your standard deviations. 95% of the population comes in the normal area by the empirical rule, and that's between two standard deviations. So what I'm doing right now is I'm bringing in the transparency. I'm using whatever I present with, and I'm using the transparent board to emphasize and reinforce the things that are on my presentation. Okay? Now, the computer, the Skype is recording everything that I'm doing on this board because I've made it primary. It's recording this, what I've written. It's recording these numbers. It's recording these numbers. It's recording everything that's on this board. Okay? So let's say I want to go to something else. So I go, okay, well, we're through with this, blah, 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 and I'm going to erase the board, hit erase, hit yes, and then let's say I want to explain something. Okay? So I say, okay, I'm going to get out of this, I'm going to go to the whiteboard, and now I'm going to draw you the empirical rule. And I go, the empirical rule goes like this, and you got this, and you got this, and I talk about standard deviations. And I go 34%, 13.5, 2.35, and 0.15, and 6. And what is this out here? This is your outliers. That's your third grade 6-footers. And then you got your unusual, and then your norm. It goes 2 standard deviations to this one, and then you got your outliers here and your unusual here, and this is normal. And that's the empirical rule. And then I say, well, I need to show them something else. So I show them something else, and I say, okay, let's go to the next page. And let me go and tell you that the square root of summation of x minus x bar quantity squared over n minus 1 is equal to the standard deviation. And you can also say that the variance, if you take the square root of the variance, then you are finding the standard deviation. So, I use another board. I go to another. That's the thing about the whiteboard.
That's what I said. I'm like, I hate statistics.
The whiteboard, you can just, it's infinite. And see, that's one of the things I've never understood. I've never understood why, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but I'm one of these people that I would walk out of the classroom. I remember being in Pickens 122 in comprehensive studies when I first started. And I would walk out of that room with my black pants had chalk all over it, my hands had, and I just said, there's got to be a better way. And then a whiteboard would come along, and it was good. And then we had pink fingers and red thumbs and all this, and I just don't understand why you would take this over this, because you have infinite board space, and you don't have to get anything on your hands. And that's just something I always was confused about. But anyway, and I guess I'll be confused with the touch screen when it comes, why everybody's using the whiteboard. But anyway, you just add and then say, you want to go back. Well, let's see. I want to pull up something that I want y'all to work on, okay? I want y'all to take this question.
Right over there if we had to.
I want you to take the question that I'm fixing to bring up, and then I'll fuss at Brian for talking in class.
I see.
Now, okay, hold on, I've never done that before. Oh, that's why I was doing it. No, I don't want changes. Okay, sorry about that. It didn't pop up. Sometimes the things hide behind your screen and you got to look for them. And I tell them, I say, okay, I want y'all to write this question down. And I go to the internet and I pull something up. I do this on purpose. And I say, I want you to copy this down. I say, well, copy what down? And I say, copy this question down right here. And I take my board and I say, I want y'all to copy this question down right here. And you can do this. And the reason I pull this up is you can go into your ebook and MyLabs Plus or whatever, if you use that, you can go into whatever you on the internet and you can pull that up. Now, if I wanted to, I could go to the snipping tool, and it takes too long, but I could go to the snipping tool, which you go down here in your Windows. I don't know if you know what snipping tool is, but you click on your Windows, type in snip, and it'll pull up snipping tool, and I can go through and I can cut this out right here, and I can bring it in on the whiteboard. And I can do that. I'll just do it right now. So now I've already written all over it, so let me get rid of that. And so you can do all this outside of class also, and I usually do, but I usually do it like 15, 20 minutes before class. But you go up here and you go down here and you type in snip. And a lot of people don't even know we have this. And hit new, and you go in here, and I'm going to cut a little bit off because I don't want to get all that junk that somebody's written. And I hit save, and then I go into the whiteboard. I just call it capture because I just use it over and over and over. I just erase it. And pull up the whiteboard and pull this in and pull it in. And that's why it's so important. And some of y'all are very good at PowerPoint, and this is just another way. The whiteboard, basically, you can use as PowerPoint. You can bring in whatever you want to. And there it is. And you can make it big or small. And that's what I do when I bring in that, and I can make it small, big, whatever.
Yeah.
And I can do it like this, and then I'll do the problem. Now this is another way of bringing in questions. Another way you can bring in questions is you can get out of this, if I can, thank you. Make it small or make it transparent. I make it transparent most of the time. And that way, and then minimize everything. And then let's go into, here is, okay, my calculus class, communication. And I don't have any. Let's see if I got any answered or unanswered. There's answered. Hold on just a second. Let me see that. Here's 4. Okay. Come on, hurry up. All right, 1.7. And there's a question that somebody is sending.
Reason I request because I'm not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a request. I'm sorry. I thought it was let me see, factoring review.
Of course it is.
Oh, this is extensions. Okay. But anyway, I pull up a homework question that they send in, and that's what takes up a lot of the first few minutes of class is they send in. I get anywhere from 5 to 10 questions every class, and that's what takes up the first 15, 20 minutes of class. So I can't pull one in right now because these are just requests, and we're through with the unit right now. So I can go over here. Hold on just a minute, and I'll pull up and I'm used to doing this a certain way, and right now I don't have anything to do it with, so I'm kind of jumping around. Hold on just a second. Let me go to my 120 folder, or let's see, where is the 120 folder? There's the 120 folder. And here's a question somebody has sent in, and I'll go to it and pull it up. And this is what I do the first 15 minutes of class. I'll pull up this question, and luckily they give me enough questions enough room to work. And I'll go up here, and one point of the average price of regular gasoline was $3.75. Assume standard deviation was 9 cents. So then you take and you draw it, and I'm going in kind of a hurry right here, and you put 375 right here, and then you would add the standard deviations over here and subtract the standard deviations over here, and I tell them 34%, use the empirical rule here, and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know what y'all have in your classrooms as far as homework goes. I don't know if you have e-books or PowerPoints, but the whole concept is the same. You bring up whatever you're presenting, and you can make this, right here is transparency. Come on, work with me, please. Okay, this right here is transparency, and this right here is whiteboard. And you toggle between there through the whole class. Now, what's behind the transparency is up to you. Chad came in here the other day, Friday, and we talked about it. He's got stuff on thumb drives. All you got to do is just bring it up. Put it on the desktop, have it sitting there, and just put the transparency on top of it. That's what transparency is, kind of like the old overheads. It's kind of like a document cam. It's just showing, and you just put it, and you just draw on it. That's what I use. And it's recording everything I do. I can't think of really anything else I use. Now y'all can bring in videos. Y'all get to bring in videos. I don't. All I get to bring in is Stephen Hawking talking about why the universe is closing in on itself, and they all go to sleep first 5 minutes of that. So I can't really bring in a lot of videos. So y'all can bring in videos.
Think about this. Do you see how he's moving around the class, just like he's in a classroom, and the camera's following him?
Yeah. Now the key is this: do we need to get permission from students if they want to be recorded? Because that's
you do not, because you're not going to see their face. You can take this off. You can take this camera and put it. And I don't know, and then Brian, I don't know if you can do this. I don't know if you can position this camera in one certain direction, the whole class. Or you can take it off of Skype. I don't know if y'all can see this, but see
Follows the voice, doesn't it?
See this down here?
Yeah.
See this square right here? I don't know if you can see it, but it's in your lower right-hand corner. It's showing y'all's table. You can take that screen out.
Yeah.
And that's one of those screens that's going to be projected onto the recording.
Yeah.
And this one.
And-
You can still see the students, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go around the room. Okay?
Well,
Yeah.
Go around
That's
the
what I'm
room.
saying. If you go around, and who is behind? But
If it goes around the room, then you're going to see this right here.
Then you can put it position in one
Well,
side.
what you're recording, what he's capturing is this. You
Yeah.
can keep from capturing this here, just by what I've done right
So
here.
I can choose to record just the board,
Yeah,
but not
But they
the
can
class.
still see what the students.
because you want
No,
to
you can take that out.
Yeah.
You can take that out.
Students. Because if somebody has a question on the other side, you're not going to see them raise their hand. But when I've taught classes like this, I'll tell the students, if you have a question, go ahead and speak up. Don't hesitate speaking up, even if I'm in the middle of talking. Speak up, or we'll know. And the camera automatically goes to them. So if Val speaks up right now, the camera's going to leave me, and it's going to go directly to her.
See, and I can take this out. I can take this out, and I can just have that.
Yeah.
Well, you are not showing that.
Yeah, we don't see what
I'm
he's
not.
doing.
I'm not. This is what the class sees.
Yeah.
The class sees Pendleton and Anderson on these two. Pendleton and Easley on these two. So they can see into Pendleton and they can see into Easley on these two monitors. And then everybody sees that board up there. But the board is the missing piece. And it's almost impossible to teach without the board or the document cam.
Now, the 6 or 7 things you got minimized, do you have to set all that up? That's why you have to get to class about 10 minutes early?
Yeah. I would say 15 to 10 minutes early you need to get it set up, especially if you're coming in behind somebody or if you're coming in first at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I get here, I taught 8 o'clock in the morning class, and usually I have everything on the blackboard, so I have even sometimes that I want to show ahead of time for students, or I have hidden from them, and then actually I have all of those tabs on Google that I have the video and everything.